संगीता मॅडम, गुड इव्हनिंग.
गुड इव्हनिंग सुजाता.
काय म्हणता मॅडम, कशा?
एकदम मजेत. तू कशी आहेस?
गुड इव्हनिंग मॅडम.
हो, छान.
सुप्रिया.
Good evening, ma'am.
गुड इव्हनिंग.
गुड इव्हनिंग मॅडम.
Sir, good evening, all of you. Dr. Meenakshi.
गुड
Good
इव्हनिंग.
evening.
गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
Good
Welcome.
evening, sir.
Thank you. Then. I'll check my screen share option, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
But I'll work it out.
Sir, good evening. Sangeeta madam, good evening.
Sir, Zambre sir.
Sujit. Hello.
You could see that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'll go for minimizing mode. Okay.
Rest of the slides are blank. Seems to. I think the magic will be in your speech only.
That's right.
We are waiting for that.
I don't know. Expectation kills everyone. Expectation kills everyone.
Sir need no slide presentation. Only his talk is enough.
नाम ही काफी है.
Resume. Wait.
So people are joining within 5 minutes. We will start, sir.
It's okay. No, anyway, I have to do my duty.
Yes.
So it is first start. That's right.
Supriya madam, we will start at 7:05. We will
7,
wait for
5.
5 more minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Dr.
So
Sujata
that people
madam
can
immediately
join.
called. Then
Yes.
only I checked the timing. Then I was checking 6:47. Then
Yes.
suddenly I got madam called me. Where is your Avinash Bhosle, Vice President?
Indrayani madam, welcome.
Yeah, my pleasure to join this
Yeah.
webinar.
Yeah,
Good evening,
welcome,
madam.
ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. The importance of communication.
Welcome, Indrani madam.
My pleasure, ma'am, to be part of this webinar to listen to Dr. Kalyan, Meenakshi Sundaram.
Thank you, madam. You are a GC member, so we are happy.
Oh,
In
sir.
official capacity.
You shouldn't be happy because I'm a GC member. You should be happy
No,
because
no.
I'm just
With the
Indrani.
position, madam is origination from Tamil Nadu, na? So she's having a special interest. We are having a special interest in madam. And with the official capacity, she is participating. Anyway, I am the
No,
second
sir.
person who
I'm
is
just
attached with.
participating. I'm
I'm
just
very happy, madam. Very
participating.
happy.
Oh, my pleasure, sir.
सुजाता साधना मॅडम पण आल्यात का?
Madam?
सुजाता
हो मॅडम, साधना मॅडम पण आहेत.
हो येस
हा.
मॅम, साधना मॅडम पण आहे. मी संध्याकाळी फोन केला होता मॅडम ना.
हा तेच मला दिसतोय नाव त्यांचं, पण मॅडम
हो,
दिसत. गुड
हो
इव्हनिंग
मॅडम दिसत नाहीये.
मॅडम अजून आल्या नाहीत बहुत.
प्रमोद सर विल जॉईन शॉर्टली.
हाँ, प्रमोद सर जॉइन होता है.
हो होत आहेत. आता ते लिंकचा काहीतरी इश्यू आला, जॉईन होत आहेत.
साधना मॅडम जॉइन झाल्या का?
हा आहेत दिसतात.
आता त्या मॅडम आहेत का साधना चिंचोळे माहित नाही आता.
अरे असं आहे का?
अच्छा.
हा.
Actually,
तरी मी संध्याकाळी
madam,
बोलले.
this communication skill, no?
येस
Yes,
मॅम.
As soon as residents join, I'll put on my video also. As soon as residents join, in our department, in the first month itself, we have a workshop on communication skills.
अच्छा.
Oh, that's great.
Because that's so important, because their communication with us, communication with teachers, communication amongst themselves with their seniors, and with the other departments like surgery, all that is so important, isn't it? So,
Exactly.
a lot of our problems can be solved if only this one aspect is taken care of. So, whenever,
Yes.
the new batch joins, we always have a workshop on communication skill. We have a workshop on CPCR, all these are
CPR.
CPR. Yes, all these are part of within the first month itself, we have all this research methodology. All these are, part of the workshop which they undertake at the first month itself. So
That's
this
a great idea,
communication
madam.
skill is again
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah, that
That
is
is
really
why.
great. We didn't have that opportunity during our residency.
No, that was mandatory when, when I was in the department at KN. So, but no, what
I
I want to
remember.
say is the importance of this topic. It's so important. Not just communication, how you communicate also is very important. How to be a team member, I know all those things.
It is important for life.
Yes,
Yes.
not only
It's
for
a life
professional
lesson.
life, for
Yeah,
everywhere it is important.
Very true, very true, very true.
So we'll wait for 2-3 minutes more and we'll start.
We can start.
Yeah.
Sure.
प्रमोद सर जॉइन झालात ना?
हो, प्रमोद सर आलेत. Within next 3 minutes we can start, I think.
Yes,
Right,
yes, yes.
yes.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, there is a YouTube link also, no? So there might be a split audience.
Yes, yes.
Some might be joining there.
Mm.
Yeah, and some might be on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Welcome, Naik madam.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome, Naik madam. Seeing you after a long time.
Evening, madam.
गुड इव्हनिंग सर्वांना गुड इव्हनिंग म्यूट
Good
करते मी स्वतःला
Good evening, madam.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Sadhna,
Good
madam.
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sadhna.
Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Sadhana madam, good evening.
How are you, sir?
Fine, fine. Shalini madam is also there.
Acha.
Yes.
All known people. So we are very happy to address that. So informally, it will be informal.
मंजुषा जिम मधनं जॉईन झालेली दिसते.
Oh, gym madam.
She has joined from treadmill.
Yeah.
See the commitment and see the magic, sir. So the topic given is apt.
Yes, yes.
Correct. Do your work also.
Yeah.
I think we should start now.
Yeah. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mr. Ganesh, you can mute all and
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, Supriya madam just
Yeah.
unmute.
Okay, good evening all and very warm welcome for this today's webinar. Today's webinar is our first online activity after we took the charge of AAA, and that is in association with SAMS, that is Society of Anesthesiologists Maharashtra State. And I am really happy for our first activity. We have with us a great academician, a very favorite teacher, great poet, and very humble person, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram, sir. I welcome you, sir. Why this topic is important and why it is chosen for today's webinar? Because only our mother can understand us without any kind of communication, nobody else. But for each and everything, till we are alive, we have to communicate with each other. And there is no option rather than communicating with each other. So our communication, how we communicate with each other, that will decide our success, professional success, family success, even social success, and our happiness also. So this topic is very, very important. And like Indrani madam told, we didn't have opportunity to learn this skill during our residency. But yes, we have opportunity to upgrade our communication skill through a renowned speaker, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram, sir. Now I request Dr. Balaji sir to give a welcome address as a president of SAMS. Balaji sir.
You are muted, Balaji. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening
Okay.
to everyone and greetings from Society of Anesthesiologists Maharashtra State. And I'm happy to be here and to welcome all of you. I want to share one very interesting incident about myself happened with Meenakshi Sundaram sir. It may be 10 or 12 years back. We 3 or 4 friends went for one conference. My friend told me, let us go for this topic. This speaker seems to be her name is very beautiful, Meenakshi Sundaram, and topic is also good. So we went to attend that his topic. But it was a male candidate who is presenting this topic. But somehow I attended that topic. But from that day onwards, I am a big fan of him. And in whichever conference I go, I will make it a point that I will attend his talk. Even in Gurgaon conference in 2023, he has conducted one panel discussion, which also I attended. And recently in Ozone also, he has delivered one talk. He is a very prolific speaker, and it is always pleasure to hear him. And today we are really fortunate. He is talking on very important topic, that is communication skill. I welcome all of you for this activity, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Pramod sir, Vice President of Anesthesiologist, Aurangabad, to introduce our today's speaker. Pramod sir.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Once again, to today's meeting or the IS webinar by AAA in association with the SAMS. I'm very much delighted to welcome Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram to the today's virtual academic meeting of Magic of Communication Skill. He is a distinguished anesthesiologist and former director of medical education Tamil Nadu. He shaped the medical education system of Tamil Nadu through his various administrative posts like Dean of various medical colleges and Director of Medical Education of Tamil Nadu for more than 10 years. He has a significant contribution to the research with many publications in a reputed index journal. He's a great academician and excellent orator. He delivered more than 400 lectures at different platforms nationally and internationally. He was a president of ISA Tamil Nadu State and vice president of ISA National in 2016. And I'm very much happy to share that he received various awards and appreciation from different platforms, like Best Doctor Award from Government of Tamil Nadu, Best Teacher Award and Best Reviewer Award of eJournal from MGR University, Tamil Nadu, Tamil Scholar Award from Government of Tamil Nadu. Recently, he received Oration Award from ISACON 2023, I think from Pondicherry, where he talked on medical negligence cases. Do we really have to worry? I'm very much surprised to notice that the other dimensions of his life, his talent. He delivered various lectures on Tamil literature in the India and outside India, like US, Singapore, Malaysia. He received 12 awards from Tamil literary activity, from the literature. He is a poet and he released 7 Tamil poet books. And very important, he is very humble and down-to-earth human being. With a single request from Sujata Sindhi madam, he immediately accepted the invitation and ready to deliver 3 different lectures at 3 different platforms. So he's a great administrator, teacher, academician, orator, humble, and the most important, he's very good human being. I'm really very much excited to hear from such a legendary in the field of anesthesia. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pramod. I'll share the screen now. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
I thank the Aurangabad Society of Anesthesiologists at the outset. And now I am very happy, Maharashtra, which is having several ISA branches, every branch is active. And when I was a vice president, I was supposed to be the judge for allotting the best branch award. And I want to inform you, all the 3 prizes in the national category for the best performing city branches went to Maharashtra. So from that day onwards, I think for the past 20 years, I am frequently visiting Maharashtra, and even now I am very happy to see my long-term friend Dr. Indrani Hemantkar, because she's a national office bearer, I am seeing your Maharashtra state office bearer, all the key office bearers, Aurangabad Society office bearers. In addition to that, several names I have seen: Dr. Manjusha, Dr. Ajita, Dr. Rupali, Dr. Arshad, Dr. Shalima, then Kulkarni Madam, Sushma. So many people I have seen, and I am very happy. Some 2 weeks back, I was addressing Ozone Society of Anesthesiologists. And now I'm addressing Aurangabad Society, and even now I can recollect. I think in 2016 I attended the Aurangabad conference where that Balaji Isagokar. It was very difficult for me to pronounce his name. Now he's looking like my neighbor. So that is the advantage of conferencing, and frequently we are seeing, whenever I am seeing him, the magic smile. Instead of my magic communication, his magic smile attracts me. And I am very happy that I have visited several houses in Maharashtra, and I have tasted homely food in Maharashtra also. Thanks for your affection showered for all these years. Because minimum 22 city branches I would have visited in Maharashtra. So thanks for encouraging me to be a speaker. I don't know whether I'm a good speaker or not, but you have encouraged me to be a good speaker. So I will come to the topic proper. Dr. Indrani Madam was telling they are giving a training for the postgraduates. That is a good gesture. We have to do that, because whenever you are interested in something, then you will deliver something good. So we want to emphasize why communication is important. Because we know that is how we express our information behavior. What I am doing now, it is a communication. I have seen Dr. Arshad addressing in Maharashtra State Conference in Pune, that communication was tremendous. So we have to learn from each other. For that, communication is needed, because by that only we can understand and respond to others' feeling. And I want to emphasize, communication is not only talking, it includes listening also. You have to be very careful with the communication, because even a small slip costs heavy. That's what I want to emphasize. That too, as we are anesthesiologists, we cannot make a joke in front of the attenders if the patient is suffering. If a small slip may cost heavy, I will give you an example. See, in a boys' hostel, this is a communication. It free internet and Wi-Fi available, but they have mentioned as free internet and Wi-Fi available. So these sort of a small slip cost heavy, and there was a long queue of boys waiting to join in the hostel. So we have to be very careful. Same way, even in Malaysia, when tourism department has communicated, Malaysia receives 10 lakhs people annually instead of annually. So we have to be very careful in conversation and communication. And see, even if you are correctly communicating, it may also give a different meaning. So we have to be very careful. See, now buy 3, get 1 free is for clothing. But just because the photograph is taken like that, it conveys a different meaning. Buy 3 and get 1 free. So I want to emphasize, there may be a wrong communication. Even a right communication can give a wrong meaning. I will give another example. Food safety first. Everyone knows food safety is first. But these college boys, they are taking this goat for biryani, and they thought it is going to be the food, and they want to wear the helmet for the goat. So bakri ke liye wo helmet pehnta hai. So the food safety first conveyed a wrong meaning for these people. And if you ask your subordinate, mainly in anesthesiology, it is very difficult for the subordinates to understand our mode of operation. So if you ask your subordinate to communicate on behalf of you, something happens. See, instead of Foley's catheter, they are writing as police catheter. That is a problem. Another joke is, see, for ultrasound, they have written ultrasound abdomen with pelvis, AP and lateral view. So the staff nurses may communicate wrongly. That may create a problem for us. We have to be very careful in that. So what I want to mean, communication is a dynamic process by which we convey a thought or feeling to someone. So how it received, it depends upon the set of events and stimuli to which the person is exposed to. So we have to address each and every person according to his whims and fancies. So how you say, what you say is important in communication. So communication can be verbal communication or non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication may be gestures or paralinguistics. So the verbal communication, if I am talking to you, the use of words matters. The number, symbol, more than that, the tone and pitch that determines the quality of speech. The tone and pitch, and you have to know when to reduce your decibel, when to increase your decibel, when to reduce your speed, when to increase your speed of speech. This matters most for the stage orators. Whenever you are talking from the podium, the tone and the pitch matters. And more than that, when personally I feel, whenever you are talking over the mic, when you are addressing the people sitting on the dais or off the dais, you please assess the quality of the sound. That's the feedback. In that 30 seconds, you have to assess where to stand in front of the mic. Some people, they will keep the receiver, that mic, inside their mouth and they will talk. Some people will stand a kilometer away from the mic and they will talk. So both will not click. So your tone, pitch, and the quality determines the reception by the people also. Then you have to have some emotions. It should not be monotonous speech. Even you are communicating with your attenders of the patients, we have to have some emotion. Non-verbal communication, as I said, it could be by facial expression, eye contact, gesture, body language, proximity and touch. These will be missing in the emails and the tweets. That is the problem. That is the reason why the smileys and so many figures have come to express our emotion. That means even in email, the emotion is required. That is the reason why the crying is there. That is there. Everybody, everything is there. So the proximity and the touch, it also gives a non-verbal communication, but it should be a good touch. And most of our communication is non-verbal. The hand gesture matters a lot when you are talking from the podium. So these facial expressions are used in emails and tweets because non-verbal communication is mandatory. It is essential. That is the reason why I am putting this slide. And whenever you talk to people, you maintain eye contact. Even in this Zoom meeting, you adjust your camera in such a way that you maintain a eye contact. That is important. So the eye contact always helps not only in love, but also in communication. So maintaining appropriate eye contact is necessary. So whatever may be the position, you maintain eye contact irrespective of position. Don't think that I am a boss and he is a subordinate. You maintain eye contact whenever you are talking to any person. Straight with the eye contact only, you have to deliver the words. So the effect of eye contact is as just for fun. These younger age eye contact that may last only for a short while. So I label it as a Chinese type of contact. And see, this sort of affection is a good contact, lasts long term. It is an Indian contact. But whether it is an Indian contact or Chinese contact, you maintain eye contact. That is what I want to emphasize. And in the gestures, there are so many gestures, you know, everyone knows there are so many gestures. But what I want to convey, be mindful of cultural differences. A gesture which conveys one meaning in India may not convey the same in Thailand. A gesture which means something in Tamil Nadu may not be applicable to Maharashtra. So you be mindful of the cultural differences before you make a gesture. That is important in communication. So gestures are important. Don't ignore, because sometimes the loss may be heavy if you miss the gestures. So whenever a person is talking to you, you watch their gestures, and when you talk also, you maintain proper gesture. So the body language is all the more important, because if you are having a good body language, you can effectively communicate within a team. That is mandatory. So what is the body language? A mnemonic. you have a mnemonic as people. P stands for posture. So you maintain a proper posture, and as I said, you maintain eye contact and you have a good orientation. And the presentation, how you deliver the message, that is all the more important. And the look is important while you are communicating. It is applicable not only for the stage orations, even to communicate, personal communication, your look is essential whenever you are breaking a sad news. So we in Tamil, we used to say 50% is human being, 50% is dress. So you should have a good dressing sense. A little bit of emotion. And what are all the barriers for communication, either for listening or for speaking? Both includes in the communication. One, people may not be attentive. They may be physically present, mentally absent. Now, you are not physically present in front of me, but you are mentally present. That is attentive. So inattention is the first problem. Then poor expression, tone, poor tone. Then premature evaluation. Before a person starts talking, then they will say, I know that Meenakshi Sundaram will be boring. That is premature evaluation. You see, he may be boring, but at least 1 out of 100 lectures may click. So don't jump into a premature evaluation. And if the speaker is upset or if the receiver is upset, that emotions will create a problem in communication. Then what is the problem for the speaker? So the speaker should have that willingness to say things differently. Sometimes people will say same thing. Even in conferences, you would have seen the same topic speakers will speak in the same tone, but that will not click. That is a barrier in communication. So we have to be happy when we are changing things. So we have unwillingness to relate or to say things, unwillingness to learn new things will create a problem for the speaker. Another thing is self-confidence. See, whenever we are talking to the people, see, that too, when a medical man is talking to a non-medical man, we are the authority. So we should have the authority, but we should not have arrogance. So we should have first self-confidence and we should have the enthusiasm to speak. This is applicable for conference lectures. Then voice quality, if suppose you are having hoarseness of voice because of a disease, then it is a problem. But generally, if it is so, even in the young age, you have to devise the ways how to improve your voice quality, because voice quality is all the more important, because I have seen so many knowledgeable people, because their voice quality, they could not express what they feel. Then the receiver, the delegates will also have a problem. This is the receiver end. Again, they also should have some mentality to listen to others. When they are not listening to others, ready to listen, then there is a problem. Then the lack of interest in the topic. If suppose a non-academic topic is given, you should have that interest. So whenever you are listening, you have interest and don't have a rebuttal instinct. Every time before they start talking, they will say, I will not accept. He is not good. So the rebuttal instinct will kill the instinct of the speaker as well as the receiver. Third party, one is the speaker, another is the receiver. In communication, environment is all the more important. In a hall, the ambience should be good. The effect of noise should be less. Except the speaker, nobody should talk. That is the reason why in a webinar, you are saying the event manager to switch off all the other mic except the speaker. So that noise in a conference hall, we are seeing whenever the cell phone is giving a ring, then that itself is a diversion. Then temperature in the room, AC is important. So environment is all the more important. Even when I was delivering a lecture for this ozone society, a lady doctor commented, sir, whenever you are talking, I will feel happy, sir, because you will be talking, I will be cooking. And my husband says that you have cooked a good food. So you can listen, you can cook, you can walk in a treadmill, you can exercise. So that and all can happen in a webinar. So the environment is all the more important. There should not be any distraction. Imagine suddenly if a banana is growing from the monkey's tail, then monkey will be surprised. So the distractions will create a problem in communication. And the people who are with us, their status and education also plays a role. These are all the external barriers. Then the time. So somebody selects a Sunday, somebody selects morning time, somebody selects evening time. So even the time is also a matter. So if I keep on talking for 3 hours, nobody will be there. So that communication has some point in timing also. Then, as I said, it is not only speaking, you have to listen. That too, a doctor who is listening for more time, he will be a successful doctor. Because we know the patient, most of the time he will be complaining of myalgia, but he will be saying, I am having pain in the head, pain in the shoulder, pain in the hand, but you have to listen. But the doctors while communicating, they say, right, pain, okay. Because we have already decided we are going to prescribe analgesic. So we cut short that, but it will not help. The patient is paying you not to have the treatment alone. He wanted to discuss all his problems with you, even it may be a family problem or a real estate problem. He wants to inform everything to the doctor. So even you can increase your fees, but increase the time in listening to the patient, because active listening helps. The patient will be thinking the doctor is concerned about him. So you should have an active listening, or you should act as if you are listening. So these two things, either one you have to do. So there are 4 levels of listening. One is a non-listener. Most of the time, the professionals will be like this. Another one, they will be listening actively, something marginal, but a good listener should be a evaluative listener. So once I complete my lecture, you have to evaluate whether his lecture is good or boring, whether any new message is delivered, or even it may be a known message, but you have to evaluate the way in which I have delivered, whether it works out for you or not. That is important. So how to improve your listening skill? Don't be preoccupied. Whenever you are attending one thing, you have that, because people used to ask me how you can balance both the Tamil literature and this anesthesia society. When I am talking about anesthesia, I will be concerned only about that. I will not be preoccupied. Even 1 hour back, I have corrected the proof for my 2 Tamil poetry books, which we are going to release in the next month. But when I am talking about anesthesiology, I will not be worried about that. So don't be preoccupied and always be open-minded and minimize interruptions. Minimize interruptions. That is, then by asking questions, you can improve your listening skills. So effective listening or evaluative listening is, you have to listen, you have to interpret, you have to understand the message. Then only it will be good. So for that, I will give you a clue, the demonic solar. So it is, you have to sit in relation to the person, then open position and lean slightly towards the person, as if you are having a hard of hearing. Because every time in the podium, we could have seen a person off the dais may ask some questions. Then suddenly the speaker will lean slightly towards the person, because that gives the impression that you wanted to listen. Then you maintain eye contact and relax. This solar is for effective listening. That people is for body language. So you mnemonic, you have to remember. So for effective communication, you remember pile. It is not something concerned with the rectum. It is combined. It is concerned with the communication. So you prepare, inquire. You yourself have to inquire questions. Stay alert always. Stay alert. Because even your secretary, when Dr. Supriya Madam called me, I asked her, Madam, whether you are Dr. Supriya Kulkarni or any other name you have. Madam was very particular that she is having only the name as Supriya Kulkarni. But I got confused because I remember her as Supriya Chowdhury. Then I asked her, Madam, whether Supriya Chowdhury is another person. Then she said, no, sir, that is before marriage. This is after marriage. So what I want to convey, we have to be alert or else the communication will fail. So whenever you are having a doubt, you ask that, stay alert and check what had happened. Then listen actively. That will help. Then evaluate, draw conclusions. Then this file will help you in effective communication that I am practicing on my own. So communication is a series of experiences. So it could be hearing, seeing, taste, touch, smell. So everything is communication. Everything is communication. So how to establish a rapport with some other person? That is the thing everyone asks. How you can click? First, you need a self-confidence. See, whenever the girls will always see the mirror, whether they are good or not, they are pretty or not. See, even a macaque monkey, that monkey is taking a selfie because it has the confidence. In their area, that monkey is a handsome monkey or a beautiful monkey. So we should have a self-confidence, then only our communication will be effective. See, daily when I am seeing the mirror, I will be thinking that, oh, we are smart. Why I am thinking like that? No, and we have to have an interest in communicating. And I want to tell you the surprising fact, in the total communication process, I am writing poetry and all, but the writing is constitutes only 9%. Speaking is 30%, reading is 16%, but I think listening is 45%. That is the reason in Tamil there is a proverb, instead of learning, you please listen. Kattalin Ketale Nandri, we used to say, instead of learning, you please listen, because listening will improve your knowledge. Because a speaker would have spent some 30 days to prepare a 30 minutes lecture. And if you are listening to that, you are gaining that 30 days experience. In that 30 days, you can do your cases and you can earn money, and listening will help you. So that is important. So in communication, again, words are only 7%. Paralinguistic, that's what I want to emphasize, 38%. You have to have the accent, tone, voice modulation. Everything is important because that attracts the listener, and 55% is body language. So while you are delivering a message, the body language is also important. These are all the things which will help you when you are breaking a sad news. So remember, more than the words, that paralinguistic. So whenever you are explaining that the patient is dangerously ill, you should not have a smile, you should not increase your decibel. Then at that time, your accent, tone, voice modulation should be different. Then the body language should be different, or else it will click wrongly. So if you are a good communicator, like a good wife, so she brings a balance. See, here one tire is missing in this Gadi, but here this wife balances that. So a good communication will also bring balance in your life. So the allocation, the Astavadani, just the anesthetist is doing a lot of work. Even I used to inform Dr. Indrani Madam that she is an Astavadani. She speaks so many languages, and even I used to be surprised. All South Indian languages and Hindi, Marathi, Madam will speak. She is a good dancer. So just like Astavadani, the anesthetists are doing so for them. Communication should be one subject. For all doctors, communication should be one subject. But anesthesiologists, it should be made mandatory. Why I want to say that? The anesthesiologist popularity is not reaching the public because the anesthesiologists are not communicating. They are working inside the theater. They are communicating only to the theater assistant and the surgeons. They should come out. They should openly communicate with the public in the local language. Now I am happy in Maharashtra, so many awareness programs are going on, and in Marathi, so many books they have written regarding anesthesiology. The newspaper articles I have seen in Marathi. Unfortunately, I could not read Marathi. So that is a problem. But then in their local area, the anesthesiologist should come out openly to propagate the anesthetist ability. So, but these sort of anesthesiologists inside the theater, they are communicating only with a cell phone. See, even this child lady, after delivering a baby with that patient-controlled analgesia pump with a labor epidural, she is communicating only with a cell phone. the anesthesiologists are not communicating to the public, but they are communicating with the cell phone. That is wrong. Medico-legally also, it will create a problem because the social media posts they are making, everything is with the time. So be careful. Don't have a distraction. Communication is to be with the patient, surgical team, and the public. So there is an interesting article in the physician communication skill. They asked the variety of specialty. The surgeon said they are happy in the communication with the patient. Attenders, it 90% they are satisfied. Then the anesthesiologist as intensivist, they were happy only 23%. The nurses were happy regarding communication only 3%. So can you analyze why it is happening like this? The surgeons spend very little time with the patient. And the moment they are showing the tumor to the attenders, they will not ask any questions, awestruck. They'll be very happy that they thank the surgeon profusely that he has removed the tumor. So the next question they will ask whether the patient is recovered or not. If you are keeping the patient on elective post-op ventilation, you are gone. Then you should have a good communication skill. So I feel the surgeons, as they spend little time with the patient, they are very satisfied with the communication. Then the intensivist, because you will explain and go, but the nurses are not at all satisfied in communicating with the attenders because 24 hours they are with the patient. So they will be tortured by the attenders by asking so many questions. And I have noted some flaws whenever the doctors are communicating to the attenders. They concentrate mostly on the technical detail. See, the patient is not interested whether you have cut the rectus sheath, whether you have cut the peritoneum, whether you have cut the vagus nerve. He is not bothered about it. So we should explain what is needed. Then, whenever the patient's attenders are agitated, the doctors will be agitated. That is also a flaw. And most of the time, I have seen the doctors are dominating the conversation. They say, see, I am a doctor. You please listen to me. I am a professional. You please listen to me. That sort of attitude should not be there. Another problem with the thing is the doctors are not supportive. These are all the feedback from the patient. Patient says, sir, whenever we are asking a question, the doctor is not answering. He is not supportive. And they say the family members are not allowed to meet the doctor so that they can ask doubt. Unfortunately, the doctors are having no time for their family, but they are living with the patient. But even then, the attenders are making complaint by the feedback I got. They feel they are not having sufficient time to talk with the doctor. So what the family expects, family means our family expects our presence, but it is not possible for us. Anesthesiologist is all the more difficult. But what I am saying is the patient's family expects so many things. So the attendants need more information than patients. And unfortunately, we have to answer everything because the attendants are going to pay. And the patients will not ask any questions because mostly the endotracheal tube will be inside the trachea so that he could not communicate, or he may like to live. So he doesn't want to irritate the doctor. But the attendants need more information than patients. So whenever the patient is sick or at the end of life, so when the value of his life is lost, how to communicate? Remember value. Remember value. Value is you appreciate. So first you thank the attender. Say whatever you want to say so that the attenders are happy. Again, I stress the attenders are going to pay whether the patient is going to live or not. Then you acknowledge the emotion. That is A. Then whatever they say, you first listen. Listen with the grief over your face. Then you understand fully. Then you elicit questions whether you want to know any other thing. So whenever the patient is so sick, dangerously ill, remember value. Then comes the question, because it is a short notes, the breaking a bad news. So I have prepared a separate slide for postgraduates. It is a short notes how to break. So how the breaking is bad news, the mnemonic spikes have to be remembered. So many mnemonics I will tell. Even to remember the mnemonic, you may have a mnemonic. That I don't know. So the mnemonic spikes you have to remember. First, you have a good setting. Whenever the patient is sick, or the patient is going to die or already dead, you want to explain. So the setting should be a quiet setting. It should be a private space, large enough. Large enough means large enough to accommodate only 4 attenders, and short enough not to accommodate more than 4 attenders. Because whenever they are going for manhandling, if you allowed a crowd inside, that will be a problem. So even if you are having a big space which can accommodate 400 persons, you have to allow only 4 attendants inside, 396 maybe your bouncers. So the setting should be an adequate setting. Then you perceive, that is perception, what the exactly the attendants want to know. So some doctors are very clever. They will first send a subordinate, the paramedical worker, just as a spy to assess the perception of the relatives. Then they will come prepared. That will be a good thing. So you perceive what they are thinking. Then you invite only few people and ask them what exactly they want to know. So you be clear in your information. Then the knowledge, what I want to say, see, please don't say while you are intubating, the patient has developed cardiac arrest because already he is having a ischemic heart disease and hypertension. No. The technical details you have to avoid. That too, mainly when you are breaking a bad news, you talk in a local language. So that is the reason I used to say you have to know knowledgeable in mother tongue to enjoy. Then you have to have a global, that is English knowledge, to share your knowledge throughout the world. And local language is all the more important because by that only we can thrive. It is not by our mother tongue or by English or whatever it is. Locally, you should know the local language. Then you have to empathize with the patient. You acknowledge, that means attenders. You acknowledge the emotion. And then the spikes, S is the sequelae. You agree on the next step, whether it is a do not resuscitate orders or what we have to do. So this is how you have to inform the breaking, you have to inform a bad news. And I again stress to anything can help in communication, whether it is a living thing or a non-living thing, because communication involves so many things. As I said, speaker, people who are receiving it, and number third is the external environment. So anything can help in communication. It can be anyone or anything, because that is have importance while you are breaking a bad news. So even this tree, it is a living thing, but it is not a human being, but it may also help in communicating. So what I want to convey, a good ambience is needed for breaking a bad news. So to break a bad news, have a good ambience, that will help. Then when a patient's attenders are angry like this, then we have to have a nurse approach. That means not a beautiful nurse, because people think mostly when a nurse in the uniform stands in front of the attenders, necessarily the level of that patient's attenders will be less angry when compared to the absence of a nurse. But a good nurse may be a distraction, because as a chief anesthesiologist, I have never allowed the good staff nurses to be posted for the theater, for the simple reason they are standing by the side of the surgeons only and not by the side of the anesthesiologists. So why then I require a nurse approach? Nurse approach is also a mnemonic. NURSE is a mnemonic. So first you see the emotion, first you acknowledge the emotion. So it seems you are angry. It is very obvious that they are angry. There may be an angry mob, but you have to say, I know that you are angry. So then you understand. Then understand, empathize with the emotion. Oh, right. Definitely the problem is there. When the patient is dead, he will be like this only. So you understand and acknowledge that. Then you respect. As I said, you respect the attenders, because once the patient is dead, patient is not going to create any problem. Only the attendants are going to create problem. So you respect. Then attendants have to pay the money also for the hospital as well as for the doctor. So you respect the attendants. Then you support. As I said, the attendants say the doctors are not supporting them. So you support them mentally so that they will support you financially. Then explore. whether anything further is needed, then explore why the attenders are angry, why the attenders are frustrated. So you have to do this nurse approach whenever the patient is attenders are angry with the doctor. So whenever the angry mob is coming, then how to react? Just imagine when a patient is admitted in polyclinic, the team of doctors are visiting the patient, and everybody wants to examine the patient thoroughly, and all the holes are examined by the doctor. So when a problem comes, the same way many attenders will join as a mob, and they will try to question the doctor. So what you sow, you will reap. So whenever there is a problem, angry mob, think it is going to happen, but you have to face them courageously. So how to respond to anger? I have seen so many angry mobs, and even road roko agitations when I was practicing intensive care. So it has to be like this. So first, don't be defensive. Don't take it personally. So don't think that, see, the doctors, some of your friends maybe are some of your people who are acting as if they are your friends, they will be happy if you are getting caught in a mishap. But don't be defensive and don't take it personally. Listen respectfully for the simple reason the psychologists say anger is a coping mechanism in grievance process. And the court also says it is just like a person holding the smoking gun. He is held responsible. See, the patient may be having 5 or 6 coexisting diseases, but he is dead in the hospital in front of the doctor. So initially, the angry mob will question the doctor. So initially, they will be agitated. But 2 hours later, they may realize, oh, our relative had so much of a problem. The doctor was very nice only. So till that anger is vented out, we have to wait. So don't retaliate. At the same time, I want to say you set appropriate boundaries for safety. When I was practicing intensive care, my intensive care had 2 entrances. It is not 2 entrances actually, 1 entrance. One is an exit for me. Whenever the problem comes, till the policemen arrive, we have to exit first instead of sitting in the same unit. So you have to view anger as a coping mechanism. At the same time, you have to have appropriate boundaries for safety. So when to withdraw support, that is a problem. Everyone thinks when to withdraw. So if you want to withdraw the life support from the patients, then you think of legal considerations, ethical consideration, and a decision making with the caregivers. Because then you are a team. And you please discontinue unnecessary and troublesome monitors. Now, in these legal considerations, I want to say recently the Supreme Court has come out with a judgment regarding this withdrawal of support. You just go through that. It is Saubag cases. It is delivered in 2018 and it was modified in 2021. They have made the doctor's job easy because initially in 2018, the collector has also to sign or a magistrate has to sign. Magistrate has to form a second medical board, except that first medical board constituted by the hospital. Now in 2021, they have made it as first that the hospital board. Second, it is the board constituted by the hospital itself, including the government doctors and the district authorities. Then the previously the do not resuscitate directive should be given to the some relatives. So for people who are interested in reading the judgment, to please read the judgment. That will help you in making a decision regarding withdrawal of life support. So the do not resuscitate orders not only helpful in resuscitation, it will not help. Don't think in emergency the do not resuscitate orders are not helpful. Don't go by that because it is a changing preference. Sometimes the patient would have developed a cardiac arrest, he would have given an advance directive, I was not supposed to be resuscitated. But the relatives may be thinking that he has not written any will, or he may be having so many real estate matters in his watch. So he wants to get the ideas and the clues from the dangerously ill patient. So the inherent difficulty in predicting the future, it changes, the circumstances change. Then if I am giving advance directive to my relative, if I am suffering a damage, if suppose he doesn't like me to live, he will say you withdraw the support. So repeated discussion with the patient means with the attenders, it is always helpful. Now, in a nutshell, I want to say communication, people think it is very difficult. How you are communicating, because many people, I am not communicating properly, but even then people used to ask me, sir, you are communicating, you are explaining very nicely, you are delivering lectures. Even see, Balaji was very generous in saying that I am delivering a good lecture. That means he can become a poet because he is telling a lie, that too with a smiling face. So how it is happening? How it is happening? Now imagine there are two types, 17 kg weight, 50 kg weight. Two weight is available, and 17 is lesser, 50 is tougher. That is to carry 70 kg weight. But what we are doing, the 70 kg means the 17 kg is a cooking cylinder. Our cooking cylinder, we are just rolling it. We are not lifting it. We are not lifting it. We are doing it like this, or we are having a cart to wheel the cylinder. It is a cooking gas used for a day-to-day affair, but it is very difficult. I don't know how many doctors have lifted this cylinder. Even I have tried, but I could do that. But at the same time, a 50 kg weight, see, he is lifting it very comfortably with a smile also. The 17 kg, people are distressed, but this 50 kg, he is very happy, and don't think only male can do it. Even a female can do it. Why this is difficult? Why that is easy? I will tell you the answer. See, now this man with the hidden smile, his smile is hidden. He is easily lifting this cylinder. What I want to convey by this, enjoy your work, then everything will be easy. So enjoy in communicating, enjoy in delivering the lecture, enjoy in listening to a lecture, then everything will be easy. Don't be upset. So the weight doesn't matter. The entertainment and the enjoyment matters. So you enjoy every work you are doing, then everything will be easy for you. So what carry home message I want to give you? See, it may be you may be carrying home some message delivered by me with the smile like this, or you may be distressed like this. I don't know what is your opinion, but what I want to give, I am doing my duty. This actress is doing her duty, but this firewood maker, he is also carrying a heavy load. So again, that carry home message will be love the job of communication. So the load will not be a problem. You enjoy communicating with the attenders, then you will enjoy everything. They will bring more patients. So by anesthesiologist communicating with the attendants, even our field will get the due popularity. So you love your work, love the job of communication. So the correct take-home message will be the attenders are irritating the doctors by asking so many questions, and like this orangutans, they are dancing on the shoulders. But even then, a doctor should keep smiling, or he should act as if he is smiling. So don't reveal your emotions outside. So the patients are dancing on your shoulders, but the magic of communication can turn even enemies into friends. So even when the monkeys can be managed with a good communication, the magic of communication will help every doctor, mainly the anesthesiologist, to survive in this world. So I thank the Society of Maharashtra Anesthesiologists and Aurangabad Anesthesiologist, and I am very happy that I can enumerate your Maharashtra State President Dr. Balaji Esagaukar, your Vice President Dr. Avinash Bhosle, and your Secretary Dr. Rajesh Takadpalli, your Treasurer Dr. Vikas Kane, and your Dr. Anita Nakata, President-elect, and your Aurangabad Society, Dr. Vasanti Kelkar, Dr. Supriya Kulkarni, Dr. Sujata. Why I want to thank all of you? I have to say that I know all of you, including your name. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It was really a beautiful lecture and very entertaining also. We enjoyed a lot, and everyone must have learned few of the tips to improve their communication skill. Now the forum is open for a discussion and sharing.
Balaji sir, can you please come?
Yeah, yes, sir. As always, it's a very thoughtful and thought-provoking lecture, and we really enjoyed it. And as you rightly said, how you communicate is the matter. I will give you one example. One of my friend physician has given one intramuscular injection, and unfortunately, there occurs. Unfortunately, there was an injection abscess. Small injection abscess happened there. When patient came to him very angrily and told him that you have given me injection and there is abscess, what he told to the patient, I have given injection in such a way that whole pus in your body collected at one point. Now I will just drain it out and you will be okay. This is how the communication skill helps. Thank you very much for your talk.
I remember one incident that Balaji sir shared with me, that during his residency, some junior residents spilled the distilled water in a surgical space. And the cardiac surgeon must have got very angry, but your teacher, how he communicated.
Yes.
So can you please share that incident? That is also
Yes, what happened, I was working in Hinduja Hospital, and one of my colleagues, while filling injection and removing the air, suddenly some part of normal saline went and get poured on the heart. My consultant anesthesiologist was standing behind. Surgeon was just shouted, "What you are doing? You don't know anything," in a very bad tone. My consultant anesthesiologist calmly told, "Oh, what you are doing? You should have poured beer into the heart rather than normal saline. He would be happy." And everyone sets into laughter. This is the way you can tackle the bad situations with your communication skills.
Meenakshi Sundarasam, I want to ask, when you agree with someone's idea, that is easy to communicate with that person, but it is very difficult to say no. So how we improve that skill when you are not agreeing somebody's idea and you want to put your ideas forward? So
it is very simple, madam. My policy in a conference, if some wrong information is given, mainly if the postgraduates are there, glaringly wrong information is given by the speaker, I want to say, my tone will be very submissive at that time. I will say, sir, I beg to differ in this opinion, sir. You may be right, but I think for the postgraduates, they should not take a wrong message. All the other areas, I will not make a quarrel. See, their level of intelligence is only like that. Only in a conference, because in a scientific matter, I will object. In a private matters and all, I will never object. Let them talk. So I will leave it as such. So in a conference, that is the idea of exchanging. If I am keeping quiet when a wrong information is sent to the mainly postgraduate, I am bothered about the youngsters only. Because elders, we need not bother. Whatever we say, they will practice only what they were practicing. They will never change. So mainly after 50 years, you say whatever it is, they will be doing the same thing. Even you may say ultrasound guided nerve block, that nerve block, this tweak block, but they will be giving general anesthesia only. We cannot blame that. We cannot blame that because they are good at it. They are good at it. So we should not blame that. So, but you bother about these youngsters. So whenever there is a problem or something dangerous, then I will inform. So the best way is you just say beg to differ, then you need not argue on that. If I am a chairperson, then I will say if two people are picking up quarrel, I'll say, right, the discussion is only during the tea time. Sambal ke rakna, we used to say, na? So we have to manage. So sambal ke rakna, that's all.
yes, sir.
Sir, I want to ask you, you are being so much, you have got so much of administrative skill and you have been on so many positions of top positions for administration. When your subordinates quarrels and there is 50%, one is right on 50%, second maybe right on 50 or 60%, how you deal with those matters? or how you approach those situations?
Yeah, there is a very difficult question. All the administrators undergo the torture. It is a real big torture. Because I will say three things, just like an administrator, what I have seen, I will have a board over my table. If your job is done, allow me to do my job. That is the first board will be there, so that people will not sit in front of me for a longer time. That is the one point. Second, the thing I used to say, you please think for 2 days or 2 hours just to know how to present it to me within 2 minutes. Because admins will listen only for 2 minutes. After that, if you talk anything, they will not listen. And as Dr. Balaji asked, if there is a problem between the two, see, once if there is a problem between the two, only one may be right. If both are right, 50%, we can say 50% you are right, 50% you are right, we will implement. But when one is right, another one is categorically wrong, then if that person who is not agreeing with it, if he will be offended by any decision, I will say, I will tell you tomorrow. If he is not offended, I will say, this time he is good. I will listen to that. And if a person is keeping on talking, I will be keeping on seeing the files. I will not listen to that. That is the only thing I will do. I will keep on seeing the file. But luckily, nobody has talked to me more than 5 minutes, because the rebuttal from me within 5 seconds, it will be a long lasting memory for them. They will never forget. So you are seeing only one side of my face. You have not seen me as an administrator. That face is a difficult to face. So I always used to say, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram is a good person. He is a jovial person. He enjoys. He has lot of sense of humor. But the Dean Meenakshi Sundaram is a very bad person. Don't pick up quarrel with him. So we have to have a borderline between an administrator and an individual. As an administrator, I have got so many, I will not say enemies. I had so many people who are having a contrary opinion, because it is a good, actually people who are working in an hospital, they will never like to work. But as an admin, I wanted to work. As you know, whenever I do something, I will do with the enthusiasm, I will do with the interest. So when we have so much of an interest in a hospital, some 2,000 employees will be there. To bring all of them in one line, it is very difficult. A nutshell, I want to say, affection will not rule everyone. Sometimes authority is also needed. So with so many difference of opinion, when I worked in Theni Medical College, we successfully have gone through the NABH inspection. So national accreditation was obtained for a government hospital. So even the public will be questioned by the NABH inspectors. So one from Delhi and another one from Mumbai. But the government hospitals passed that test means people don't like me. The people who are working, because they are made to work. So it requires so many people's cooperation. See, mainly our quality manager, she worked in a beautiful way. So when the points are to be implemented, sometimes we have to be harsh. That is altogether a different arena. So administrator will always have a problem.
Thank you, sir.
Sujit sir wants to ask the question. Sujit sir.
Good evening, sir. This was I enjoyed your talk. This was an excellent talk. I want to ask you, many a times we see our colleagues making some mistakes. So how do we communicate with them their mistakes, or give them some negative feedback?
Sir, if your colleague is your superior, you have to keep quiet, sir. If your colleague is subordinate, then you can open your mouth. That is the first point. Because I want to say the rule number 1. That is the reason boss is always a boss, sir.
Boss is always right.
Boss is always a boss. Boss is always right. So if you are not accepting it, that is the rule number 2, they will say. If you are not accepting that your boss is not right, then you go back to rule number 1. Boss is always right. So whenever your superior, at least, see, I will not bend. Sometimes people used to say, instead of losing by standing straight, at least you bow sometimes to win. But I will not bow. But what I want to convey, if it is superior is committing a mistake, some people will praise him like anything. Sir, whatever you have done, even I have written a poetry about chair. The title is Chair. I said, people were respecting my chair, not me. Not me. That is the reason why when I travel to Maharashtra, I am very happy. Maharashtra, I am known as Meenakshi Sundaram only. Maharashtra, I am Meenakshi Sundaram. Whatever may be your position, you will not bother. So that is how we enjoy. That is the reason why I am talking from the bottom of my heart. But the administrator, he will be talking only from the lips. So when your subordinate commits a mistake, you straight away tell him. If your superior commits a mistake, don't open your mouth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, as an administrator,
Yes.
how can we ask for a leave?
Madam, you want to request a leave from the administrator, or administrator has to go on leave? You want to ask. Yeah. See, again, madam, everybody wants to work. They have to satisfy their personal affairs also. But imagine if suppose your son or daughter has to be admitted in a school or college, he can be taken by anyone. But if an anesthetist is missing in the theater, we cannot replace it. You have to do it. You cannot arrange a substitute here. So you have to accept whenever there is a problem, the administrator is refusing the leave only because of a common interest. But if the administrator is having a personal bias and if he is refusing a leave, sorry, we cannot do anything with that. At the time only the philosophy works out. So Dr. Arshad has to talk at that particular point of time. All the 5 fingers are not looking alike. They are different. So administrators are different only. At that time, again, I want to tell you another take-home message. Please accept things which you can change and you change it. Then number 2, please accept things which you cannot change and don't attempt to change. Don't attempt to change. Third, you should know the difference between the two. You have to decide which is possible for you, which is not possible for you. So which is possible for the Sujata madam will not be applicable for me. Which is applicable for me may not be looking at that. Even I am surprised how Sujata madam is always smiling, which I cannot do. So something is possible for someone. So you have to accept that. If it is not possible, then you don't attempt to change.
Right.
Indrani madam want to comment something?
Yes, Indrani.
Yes. Yeah, I want to tell a joke actually.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a real thing, I'm telling you. When we were residents in Tata Hospital, Sushila Shah madam was the head of the department, and whenever we wanted leave, whenever we wanted leave, we'll go to her cabin, and supposing you want leave for a week, just go to her and tell her in a very soft voice, madam, can you please give me 2 weeks leave, madam? Immediately she'll say, no, how can I give leave? Just see how many people, I cannot give so much leave. I cannot give. And then afterwards she'll say, no, I can only give you 1 week leave. Actually, you wanted only 1 week leave. And actually speaking, to tell you the truth, after a while, she will check the calendar. She will see how many people are on leave during that time. She'll come to your OT and she will say, Indrani, I would have given you 2 weeks leave, but these things are there. Is it okay if you can take only 1 week, or you actually want 2 weeks? Then we'll say, madam, even if you give 1 week, it's fine. Then, then she's happy, I'm happy. But this is a running joke in Tata Hospital at that time. If you want leave, you just double it and then you tell her, she'll come back with, you'll get your leave.
Madam, you post her to Dr. Sujata madam's place.
Yeah.
Post her, even if we retired, even she's retired, you post her.
Yes, like sir rightly said, that tone, pitch, and your quality of speech is important.
It is important.
Very
Madam.
true.
Yeah.
It is
I
Madam,
important.
will, sir, I will share
Yes,
one
And
of
I'll tell you
the
one
small.
more communication which actually can go against you. Just keep to yourself. But once what happened, a resident, left the NORAD drip like that and went away. Then the next, for the next emergency, the next group came in. And because it was not labeled, they started the drip. The BP was shooting to 200, BP was shooting to 200. And we were wondering what is happening. And the patient developed perioperative MI. Had a collapse in the OT, developed perioperative MI. And then finally, when, then the whole issue came up to the head of the department, then, to the lecturer on call. Lecturer on call went running to the OT. And then, afterwards, wondering whether it is a NORAD drip. She suspected whether any adrenaline or noradrenaline has been added. And then she called up the previous team, and the previous team confirmed it was a NORAD. Then this resident goes out to the relative, who's a police, and then tells the relative, there was a mistake from our part, and the patient collapsed inside the OT, and this was because of our mistake. You can imagine it became a medical legal thing. The patient survived eventually, had a MI, but survived. But then became a medical legal issue, So again, communication, what to communicate, whom to communicate, how to communicate. Everything, makes a difference.
Madam, that is the reason why we used to say whenever breaking a bad news, the topmost person should communicate.
Exactly, sir.
Yeah.
It should be written in golden words, and only one person should communicate from the team.
Team,
You
correct.
should not have the entire team coming and talking all together.
Correct.
One person should talk. And actually, in KEM, I used to say that if there is a complication inside the OT, no social media, no video recording, no writing WhatsApp about the case, no talking about it to your friends. I used to say that, no doing all that. Even that is important, because immediately on WhatsApp, things will go to their friends. So all these things, I used to say that. And it's so important because of social media, it becomes difficult. Because once, if it becomes viral and it goes into the wrong hands, then you had it, no?
Hello. Even not only breaking a bad news, but breaking a good news also turn out sometimes hysterical. Like if a baby boy or a baby girl, and if the parents are expecting for a baby boy and there is a baby girl, and the staff nurse go and crack the news, then again it becomes a little bit havoc. So let the gynecologist declare what it is. That's a better option.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true. I think in most hospitals, anesthetists don't open their mouth.
Yes, yes.
No,
And
we
others
don't
don't.
open. Even
Nobody
our
opens
patients
their
are
mouth.
under regional anesthesia.
Madam,
So we
we
will
will-
utter a word inside the OT also, whether it is a baby boy or a baby girl. Once it is done, everything is settled down. Once we hand over the patients, and then it is said.
Madam, regarding this, anesthetist will open, myself will open the mouth. They will ask whether it is a boy baby or a girl baby. I used to say, no, at that time your BP was sinking, so I was looking at that. I have not seen the baby. That is the routine dialogue. I will say.
Yeah.
Routine
Took away the
dialogue.
baby, so we didn't saw that.
Yes, yes.
So every time you say that, then I will say, or else I was checking the time of birth. So I have not looked after the boy or girl. Luckily, I have not said, I don't know how to differentiate between a boy baby and a girl baby.
One more question, may I
Sadhana
ask?
Kulkarni madam
Yes.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yes, please,
Sadhana
madam.
I think written communication is equally important.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
That
Correct.
is That's why when we're taking a high risk consent, we should write the things very correctly. So also when we are writing the notes, don't take them very lightly, because that is your communication with the court.
So that is the reason why we say memory first, record remembers. So record is also important.
That's true. That's true. Very good lecture, sir, and it was very practical lecture.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. See,
Thank
this
you.
is just like Vashishta is calling Vishwamitra as Brahmarishi. You are congratulating me.
No,
No,
it's
sir,
not
it was
true.
very interesting and very good.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
The
Sir,
best
I just
part
want
we
to ask
loved the
one question.
mnemonics. Sir.
Which one?
Yes.
One thing,
The best part we loved your mnemonics, like
That is
people,
right.
solar, pile, nurse.
So, people, pile, even I used to do that. Nurse, solar,
Yes, value.
everything, because it is coming from the heart. We have to remember that, then only we can recollect how many
Yes,
things
yes.
we'll do. So the mnemonic is just to recollect whether we have clicked the first point, the second point. Say, I have seen 3 road agitations like anything during my 8-year ICU tenure. And another thing, communication, it's short and it should be short and sweet. Even though if it is not sweet, it should be short.
Sure.
That is the reason we can find. But you please catch hold of your local inspector of police and the sub-inspector of police as your friend. That is all the more important. I am very clear, not DSP or SP. I am not saying that. You please make a friendship with the inspector or sub-inspector of police of your jurisdiction, because they are the investigating officers. SP and DSP are administrative officers. So SP cannot do anything. But IO will be the inspector or sub-inspector. So Panchanama, that FIR is filed by them only. So you make them friends. So whenever there is a problem, only they will come for help with the police force.
Anybody has any question or want to share something?
How to communicate with surgeon while postponing a case or somewhat delay in the case in a very soft spoken
Separate topic, because this question I have answered.
Yeah, that's why I asked that how to say no.
No, this was a 15 minutes lecture in Kolhapur. This lecture I delivered. How to handle postponement of the case. Probably, I think they are asking again. It depends upon the friendship with your communication, whether he's along. But another one, see, if you have not made a pre-operative assessment on that particular point of time, if you are canceling, then it will be a big havoc. But another thing, see, it is better to lose the friendship than losing the patient. So you take that way. You people are worried when you are canceling a case, the surgeon may not call us for the next case, or theater atmosphere, everything will be lost, but everything can be regained. But once the patient's life is lost, it will never be regained. So it is better to lose the friendship rather than losing the patient. That is the take-home message.
Pramod sir, your expert comment. Pramod sir, are you there?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Balaji actually wants to say something. He was commenting something. Want to share something?
Actually,
Balaji,
one of the incidents about communication skill I wanted to share. There was a frantic call from one of our laparoscopic surgeon that your colleague has put charges of anesthesia very high, and this is not acceptable to me. I just listened him carefully, and at the end I said, my colleague was thinking that you are the topmost surgeon of the city, and that is why she put very high charges for you. And suddenly his tone get down, and he talk, oh yes. In this way, you have to work or you have to talk in a very smarter way to just tame the angry people when you are communicating.
Yeah, many times you have to satisfy their ego.
Yes.
So, in other words, everybody is good at communication, but you have to format everything into one lecture. That's what I want to request you. Everybody is good at personal communication, but when it's a question of addressing a group of people, then they will have that stage fear. because I used to say hand gesture is all the more important when we are delivering Tamil literary lectures. Hand gesture is important, but many people, because of nervousness, with both the hands, they will catch hold of the podium as if the podium is trembling. So absolutely, there will not be any hand gesture. So that and all we have to avoid.
You have made a very important point that words are only 7%. Otherwise,
7%
your
only.
body language,
Words are
your
absolutely
tone,
nothing.
yeah.
Words are
That
absolutely
is
nothing.
much more important.
That is how you are delivering. You are saying, na? See, that too, when you are praising a man, your face should be like that as if you are really praising him. So it
Yes.
should not be seen. You are doing it with vested interest. So the reason why people who are very good with the lips, they will succeed very easily. But it will not last for a longer time. It will be just like a Chinese. So long term, it will be only from the bottom of the heart. See,
Yes.
the intimacy will not happen in the first conversation. Because you see, now I feel as if I'm even I may not be comfortable in Tamil Nadu, as it is my home state. I'm very comfortable with Maharashtra because we have traveled length and breadth of the state everywhere.
So kind of you, sir.
What a great gesture. Even on the webinar also, there is such a great gesture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're always good. I love Maharashtra.
I think we can conclude.
Yes.
Supriya ma'am,
Yes.
if there are no questions.
So everyone have enjoyed Meenakshi Sundaram sir's lecture very much. Everyone have taken some of the other message and they will definitely implement in their communication skill. The first thing they sir has mentioned that for good communication you should be a good listener, and I'm sure everyone was listening so patiently and so calmly to the sir's lecture. I, Dr. Supriya Kulkarni, Secretary of AAM, thanks Meenakshi Sundaram sir from bottom of my heart that he had accepted our invitation on just a one phone call from Sujata and spared time with us and delivered such a beautiful lectures. Sir, you have assured us to give 2 more lectures.
I am happy that I am the opening batsman.
But in
Today only
future,
I
we
got-
may ask many more from you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Dr. Balaji Asegavkar, sir, President SAMS, for giving us this platform to conduct this webinar. I'm sure he is busy in SAM's work in day-to-day activities of SAMS, but he has some soft corner for AAA and keep that soft corner patent for us. And in future also, in association with SAMS, we will definitely conduct many more such webinars. So thank you so much, sir. I want to thank Dr. Rajesh Tagadpalle, Secretary of SAMS. He was traveling, so he could not join the webinar. He had joined, but there was some network issue. For organizing this webinar, I had called him so many times and troubled for small things, but he responded me so patiently and gave me the solution of each problem. So really thank you, Tagadpalle sir. I also want to thank all the participants. The Zoom meeting was really full. Without their participation, it would not be a successful. And lastly, I want to thank all my AA members. Vasanti, President AAA, Pramod sir, Vice President, Sujata, GC member, Nachne sir, Treasurer, Parsundekar sir, Joint Secretary, and all the EC members for their efforts, sincere efforts to make this webinar happen. Thank you all. And Meenakshi Sundaram sir, thank you from all of us. And I conclude this webinar is ended and everyone can leave the meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much, sir.
Pramod. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
चालू मीटिंग
Oh.
हॅलो
हो झाली झाली.
ओके
हा.